Okay, so in the last video that I made, I kind of gave you an overview of how, success really happened to me in the best possible way. And I say overview because there's too many details and I don't want to bore you with the minutia. But at the end of the day, it was a lucrative career, as I mentioned to you. And I would say a fulfilled life. Okay. The part of the problem that we all encounter in life, and I used to think if it was a problem, but in hindsight, it's really a just a muscle growth. We all have to, okay, not want to, maybe need to, but we have to go through our downfalls. So, like I told you in my previous video, I started with nothing, uh, just a regular old dude from New York City, not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, working in the mailroom. Found my purpose, I would say, maybe um, through the mailroom, and then ultimately becoming some big creative director, multimedia mogul, working in a lot of the big prestigious ad agencies in the country. And while that was all cool, I think the way God has it is, you kind of reach everything at your capacity as far as you can drive it, as far as you can take it. And if you don't actually see God's hand working in your purpose, and you just want to continue on that trajectory of making everything about you. And while it wasn't just about me, of course I was happy about my success. I was happy about my accolades. I was happy that I was able to provide a home, and shelter and food and clothing and schooling and all the other good stuff that every good father wants to provide for his family. And that was true. But somewhere in there, and maybe in the subconscious, maybe I became too big for my own britches. And I can look back now and say, in all honesty, maybe there was some of that. But whether there was or wasn't, you still have to acquiesce. Life definitely has more in store for you. And again, like I alluded to in the last video, when I say more, it's not like more, that you have this appetite and desire and lust to just have more for the sake of more, but more because the better and you are positioned and the more you're blessed in life, then the more you can give to people. And of course, primarily the people that live with you, the people who are around you. And then as you grow bigger and bigger and start scaling into a whole different level, um, ultimately to the world and what you provide for society. So that's where we pick up here. Okay. So, um, you know, no one ever knows how they're going to react to, the rug being pulled from under you. No one knows. And you could plan, you can try to prepare for it. You can read about it. You can even hear this video. And I hope that when you read this, I'm sorry, when you hear what I'm saying to you, you can feel the passion I definitely don't believe in someone reinventing the wheel. Okay. So if you can learn from my mistakes, or if you can learn from my life, again, I'm a little bit older, and then there are people who are older than even I am here. But if you can learn from that and not reinvent the wheel by just simply listening, and then just try to avoid some of the pitfalls that kind of just creep up. But nonetheless, the purpose for being crushed, the purpose for, the rug being pulled from under you, the purpose for you slipping, in life is primarily for growth. So if you try to fight the fact that calamitous things happen in your life, and that's just an inevitability. Your personal life, you might be solid, But something might happen to your loved one. Someone might happen to people in general that you love. Something might happen catastrophic to the area that you live, and so on and so forth. And everything has a ripple effect, and that can be, again, catastrophic. Sometimes there's death involved. Sometimes there's serious injury, bodily harm, and the people you love, and including yourself, you're gonna go through things in life where finances alone is not going to be the thing that can help it. It's cool that you have the finances that you need in order to, like I said again last time, to not only survive but thrive. But it's important that you understand that money is just part and parcel of what life encapsulates in totality. So this happened to me in the worst way. you know First, it was on my own life. I had gotten severely ill, almost to the point of death. And it was a rude awakening, but I'm not going to, again, belabor certain things. But basically, I had to go through what I had to go through, again, for my own personal and spiritual growth. And, and I was fine with that. And I did elevate again, and I did grow to a next level. But then things happen, family things, like I said, life things, and those are the things that, man, they really hurt you. Um, your your finances in general are going to be tied to your capacity, your spiritual capacity, for how and do you truly believe that you were created for a specific purpose. And if so, and you were actually created for that purpose, then the trajectory of where you're at now should seem optimistic. It should feel like, okay, well, there's definitely more to life than just this. But what happens is, if you don't go through that spiritual growth, and you start to see everything negatively, and you start to see things in a very despondent, depressing way, then life can succumb you. It can bury you, put it that way. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, man, I have faith, and at the time, I had just enough faith to take me from A to B. But if you're going to grow in anything, fortunately or unfortunately, you have to go through the breakdown. You have to go through the wear and tear. And that's just true even on a biological, on a molecular level. I mean, listen, if a bodybuilder wants to get bigger muscles, that he has to tear some muscle and some tissue in order for growth to actually happen. I mean, if you want to plant a tree to grow, you're gonna have to take that seed and bury it in a cold, dark soil, wet, and nonetheless, it will start to sprout and go up. You will see the light. And there is no possible way that anybody would be able to see the fruit that you bear if you're suppressed in a despondency, in depression, and all that other stuff that could happen. Okay. And then it's a very real thing. But when you go through calamitous events in life, like I did, it's like one blow after another blow after another. And it is the proverbial fight of your life, because there's so much riding, there's so much, internally and externally, that you have to put under control. And you still have to always go to that part in your mind. Was I created with a purpose? And if the answer always comes to yes, and especially if you have faith in God and you believe that He created you with and for a purpose, well, then you can then at least take some solace knowing that, okay, this is a growing lesson. I'm being taken and pushed past this threshold. Now, a lot of people say, like, well, why would God put you through that? Like, how can a loving God put you through that living hell in order for you to grow? And the truth of the matter is, it's not that God puts you through that, okay? life does that all on its own. I mean, you have to factor in the decisions you make. You have to factor in the decisions other people make that have an effect on you. You have to factor in that there are things that must go a certain direction in order for you to know, boom, I hit a wall, not to go in that direction anymore. But you wouldn't know not to go a direction unless you went that direction. These are just, the basic fundamental tenements of what life is all about. Now you will, and God forbid if you do go through it, but in all honesty, if I'm being honest, there was nothing that I was doing wrong in my journey from the mailroom to the boardroom. Which, by the way, if you're interested, you can check the link below and read the book for yourself. And I'm trying not to saturate you here in this video with what I wrote on the book. There'll be a downloadable link there. But this whole series that I'm doing is essentially the unveiling of what that book is. It's basically trying to have a one-on-one with you, someone who's going to actually go through or is going through something right now. And if you're going through something right now where you feel like you did everything you could, man, you feel like, why is this happening to me, man? Why did I have to go through this, man? Was it all just a waste of time for me to go to from A to B, and now I can't even go past C? None of it is a waste of time. This is your time, just like it was for me, for you to regroup, regather, reassemble, and reassure yourself that, number one, you are indeed living with purpose that God created you with and for. But more than that, you got to just look at this as, this is my training. This is my training for the next step. This is elevation time. And what you do in that time, instead of just sitting in a dark hole somewhere in a pit, wallowing, you're made for survival. You're made to thrive. You're made to create. You're made to do more. You're made to go through what you're going through so that other people may not have to. Or if other people are going through what they're going through, that you would be there because you already been there, done that, and you'll be able to help them. I'm hoping that this video really serves, or even this series, because there'll be more videos which I'm extrapolating out of the book, where I'm trying to really tell you I'm pragmatic about everything. I'm optimistic about life. I'm definitely sure of not only myself and my abilities, but I'm sure and confident and positive that the work that God put inside of you when He created you before you even were a thing in your mother's womb, you will accomplish. Like, there is no set time. You have to go with where your growth is that, and wherever you're at. So wherever that, if this is 0 and this is 100 and you happen to be at 50, then at 50 you'll be producing at 100%. So if you're 50%, you're here halfway through. So even at 50 you produce 100%. When you were here at 10, you produce 100%, 100%. And this is what you have to look at. Every step that you go through and every phase that you go through in life, you look at, like, okay, I'm in the gym, I get it, I gotta now grow, I gotta take it up another notch, I gotta, like, there's something for me to break beyond that, proverbial glass ceiling that God wants me to go move towards. And when you think like that, something in your mind switches. There's a scripture that says to not be conformed by the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that word transform is important because at the end of the day, there's nothing on planet Earth, nothing on planet Earth that is worth anything if it doesn't have actual transformation. You have to be a metamorphosis of what your new you at your new stage is to become. And when you see yourself in that way, you can actually take life on. And unfortunately, bad things happen in life. Okay, this is something that just happens. While I submit my life to God, um, still things happen. The laws that God had put forth in this life, they're laws, meaning they're going to happen. I throw something up, it's going to go down. This is a law. Nothing can change that. And what Jesus was saying there is like, hey, listen, it doesn't matter if you're quote unquote good or if you're quote unquote evil. It reigns on both just alike, because the law is the law. That's what's going to happen. However, the person that doesn't have God in their life might look at the rain and go, "Oh, it's raining. I'm soaking wet, and why this and why that," and be angry and bitter and use that for more fuel to just hate God. While the other person might go like, "Oh man, this is not good." Well, fortunately, someone smart made an umbrella, and I'll use the umbrella. And I guess the grass is going to get wet, which is going to be fruitful, and can see the good out of the rain. The same rain can be viewed by someone who's pessimistic and optimistic completely differently. So, at the end of the day, I mean, you're going to really love the next video because it is basically kind of like the next chapter of my book. But the next video, I think, is going to really set you up. These first two videos are here to prime you. Like I gave you in the first video some insight immediately as to where I came from, what happened, who I am, and the many successes in life. And in this video, I wanted to just let you know that while you may have successes in your life, there's always room for calamitous things to happen, unfortunately. But you must look at that as your growth period. I'm going to say one last thing. For anyone who right now is going through a tremendously horrible, calamitous event in your life, like, I don't want to take light of that, because believe me, man, I've been through my share. But I want to speak to you directly if you're going through this. I'm 50. I'm 55 years old. Okay, I've lived more than. I mean, if I live to be 100, I've already lived 5 years past the halfway mark. Um, and I want to say this in all seriousness: life is going to test you. You are going to feel like the world is collapsing around you. You are going to feel like you can't push through it. You can't go on. But I'm here to tell you, I am telling you with 100% certainty, you are in this position right now so that hopefully, as the voice that you hear, okay, you're hearing God speak through my vocal cords. And I'm telling you right now, you are not alone. You are right now in an incubator. You have to now go past the threshold of life that got you this far. You're going to go past that. And you're going to be a person that will go past that. You will find the answers. You need to clear your mind. You need to quiet your mind. You need to pray to God and ask for wisdom. And you will get it. Be still. And I guarantee you that when you move on to your next level in life, there's going to be someone that is going to go through something that you're currently going through now, and they're just one or two steps behind you. And fortunately, you'll say you went through that, and you can speak with 100% certainty and validity that, hey, this too shall pass. And you can speak that life into a person, just like I'm hoping that I'm speaking life into someone that's hearing this right now. I guarantee you, put God first, get your mind at ease, renew that mind, metamorphosize into your new level, and you will be used mightily. I just guarantee you. Okay, there's so much that needs to be accomplished. I don't want to get into my next chapter of the book. That'll be in my next video. But I do want to say, listen, right now, if you're in the trenches, if you're in there in the mud, you're there. God already has created a mechanism inside all of us for survival, which means and implies that you already know how to survive. You need to be still, figure it out, and you're going to be that much stronger. That's all I can say. You will be that much stronger. So until the next video, I'm looking forward to for any comments. Anybody has any comments, and if you do need any help, please reach out to me personally. You can just reach out to me, and just know that you're not alone, and that um, as I get closer and closer towards the end of the book, I think it'll be worth it for you to understand the pitfalls of life, the beauty of life, but understanding that right now, especially in this video, which is this chapter of the book, listen, you just put on those gloves, you put that belt, and you get those combat boots on, and you go to war, because you're going to war for yourself. You're going to war for your family. You're going to war for the world. I know war sounds like a bad thing, but even our own bodies, our own cells are at war every single second of the day. I mean, that's why we have white blood cells and macrophages, and they're at war. They're constantly killing bad bacteria and diseases and things of that nature. And we're just the exterior version of that, and we're at war. So get deep in here and reach out to God, and I guarantee you things are going to be good. If you like this content, please, I just hope and pray that you would like, share, subscribe, and at the very least, if you just want to know the end of the book, you could just purchase it. It's inexpensive. The link is below, and just hit me up if you ever need anything. All right, take it easy, guys.